Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm here today um, doing my art, my paperwork, and today I'm going to start off with showing you some of my pieces that I do using my beads. Okay, this is a box, and I take any kind of small box. This happened to be a box that had something in it, some kind of crackers or something, and it caught my eye because when you opened it, it opened like a slant like that. So I said, oh, that would make a nice little storage box. So I made it into a storage box, okay? So that's one thing, and then I have a bowl, a small bowl. Now I call something like this a ring bowl, where you could put your earrings in or your ring in at night and put it on your dresser, and it just is a cute little thing to keep something in that you don't want just rolling around, but it's decorative and it's cute. Okay, now here's a bigger bowl. And you make this the same way you make this. You just make it bigger. And actually, you can make this any size you want. It could be bigger or bigger. You know, what governs how big the bowl is how big the bottom is. So you start off with a flat bottom, just going around and around and around. And let me show you. It all is done. All of these things, the beads, bowls, are made from rods, what I call paper rods. And this is magazine paper. This is a page of a magazine rolled on a rod, any kind of rod, and a little dab of glue, and you have what I call a paper rod. And with the paper rod, you are able to make all manner of things, which I love. I love coming up with different things that I can make out of that same rod. Okay, so this is one thing. And like I said, these could be any size. You know, this could be any size. So we'll leave that here. And these are the rods. That's a box. Also, you can cover any kind of box. I have used box tops, which I didn't bring today, because I'm going to do, I think, a class on, and I take a box top and make a tray. Trays are very nice, very useful, very colorful. So I'm thinking next week I'm going to actually make a tray. Okay, so I have a couple of them prepared, and I'll show you how I prepare the tray and then how I decorate the tray. That'll be next week. Okay, so still using these same rods. Okay, so now what else? Okay, now I have, this is the beads, all different sizes of beads. Okay. Also, I take the small beads and I use them to make things, but I also use them to decorate things, and they can be really nice. This is a wooden cross that I got, I think, from, I want to say Dollar Tree. And it came with the little string attached that you can hang. And what I did was I covered the back, and with this particular cross, they have them in all kinds of different shapes and sizes. The way this is made is that it has like almost like a ridge around the outside, and this part here that has the beads on it really sets in. Okay, so what I did was I covered that edge with pieces of magazine paper that also is covered the back. So those are just scraps of paper. There's overlap and glued on, and I let it wrap around to cover this like a frame. That's what that would be, like a frame all around here. Now inside there I put the beads, and you can see they're different colors, they're even different shapes, and some of them are not, you know, the same even width. Some of them stick out a little. Like if I hold it this way, you can see these two. This one sticks out a little, just gives it a little dimension. And so it can hang on the wall. It's very decorative. Okay, that's another thing. And I like doing crosses. So I have this cross, which is also on my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel, and you know how they put up a banner and they have like my picture and they have a piece of my work. This is the actual cross that is pictured there next to me. And this is just a wooden cross, and you can see the shape of it. I probably got this also in Dollar Tree. And what I did with this was I took, I don't know, what is that? Guideposts or something somebody had given me. You know, people always give me magazines, and well, somebody had given me a guidepost. It was with some magazines that had a lot of beautiful pictures, but it was a guidepost, which is like a Christian daily, you know, message type of book, and they send it out monthly, so every day you read scripture, and it's very nice. And it was an old one, so I decided, since this was a cross, it didn't have a lot of pictures in it, but I took the papers, the pages, and I covered the whole cross with the pages from the guideposts. So on it, you know, you could read something. Don't forget the giver, it says here. And don't forget the giver. Now, when I was doing it, I wasn't trying to cut out different sayings or any of that. I just let it all be random. And so after I was done, it was very interesting to me also to read some of the things that you could, even though it was overlapped and just glued on, some of the messages are, you know, revealed. And I don't know, that's just me. I just thought that was very interesting. And then also, I decided to take the small beads and outline the edge to emphasize the design of the cross. And Then there's a line of beads down the middle and a line of beads this way, but there's like a little space in between all around. You can see that. Oh, that was pretty. So I like that. So that's another cross. And I have some, I didn't even get out all of the crosses I've made. I have another one. I have some others that actually came on stands that freestand like that, you know, that you can put around and you don't have to hang them on a wall. So I've done those also. Okay. And so that was what I wanted to bring to your attention this morning, that this is just a tip of the iceberg of what can be done with the rods, the paper rods. And I love the beads. I love creating things with the beads. And I love the rods, the trays. Sometimes I cover the inside of the tray with the rods, just glue them together in the bottom, and then put the beads all around the edge of the tray. They come out beautiful. Every single one of them is different. Okay. Now, what else was I going to show you this morning? Just to give you like a little update. Was going to show you the earrings. And I have some earrings that I made out of the rods also. Okay, these are some I have on. I forgot, I put these on. These are the small beads. And I just glued them together and made it. You can see that, the small beads glued together. It's like a big one in the middle and smaller ones all on the outside. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. So that's what I have on today. Then also, here's a pair. This is also made from beads, from the rods. So this is a small one, a larger one, and then I wrapped another one this way to join them together. And this is, the color is like a lot of purple, like a purple and white. And also, so here's the other one. Here's both of them. And then I just put a gold ring and then a gold ear wire. And that's it. So that's something else I was able to make with the wire. I mean not the wire. Okay, with the rods. Okay, and I always try to demonstrate how I make the rods, because I just in case it's your first time watching me, or you have decided you're going to try to make a rod yourself. I want to make sure, and this is what I use to wrap and make rods, and this is all kinds of knitting needles, sizes of knitting needles, wooden dowels. Depends on what size in order to make a small beads, these beads are really small, you have to start off with a rod that's very small. Okay, and I have used knitting needles, as you see. So this is the kind of what I would use to make most of the small beads. I'd say the smallest bead. Now this one is a little larger, but still relatively small. And this is another one, I think. Okay, this is the smallest one. This is a little bigger, and this one's a little bigger. But I go from very small to very large, depending on what I'm making and why I am making it. Now, something like this, once I have made the rod, then to make a bead that has a large hole in the middle, like I made here, I take the rod and I wrap it on this, you see? Not even this, something bigger. But this will give you an idea. And that's how I'm able to make this hole. Now, anything you want to wrap this on to make that size, that's what you use. You can use, and I have used different things like a jar, or I've used this, or shapes like this, something like this, and made ovals, you know, and because sometimes you're making something where you need that oval shape, okay? So anything you wrap the rod on, all you do is flatten the rod out, and I could do it with this one, just flatten it, and then wrap it, you know? So I want to show you how simple, just to show you how simple it is to make one. Okay. I always let you know, and that is, you can use the whole sheet of paper, or half a sheet, or a quarter of a sheet. It depends on how big the rod is going to be, what you're wrapping it on, and what you want the end product to be. Okay. One of the things that I've learned in doing this is that if I take and roll a rod out of this, now that's another thing you got to know is that what you want to be on the outside should be at the bottom. This is going to be rolled up inside the rod. So you always want to utilize the colors, you know. So you just fold over the corner, and I think I'm going to use a larger one, not the little small one, because I'm going to use a big piece of paper, which is the whole sheet. I start to roll, and this is the way I roll. I've seen people put it down on a table and roll it up. I prefer doing it in my hand. I can start it rolling around and just keep rolling and rolling. And I can sort of keep it tight, make sure the ends don't curl up, smooth it out. And as you roll it up, you can start to like pull it out a little bit. Right, roll it. And once you get like about that much, then that's when you put the glue. And you just squiggle some glue. And then you wrap it and roll it up. And just smooth it around. And you know, sometimes glue ooze out and you just rub it on there and make sure. And then you can just pull this out. That is a rod. Now, there's one thing also. If you take, oh, that's pretty. If you take the same size paper, I'm just going to do it just to show it to you. I don't have my scissors out, but sometimes you do. And you do half a sheet of paper. You can, and I'm going to purposely put this on the bottom, even though this was on the bottom for that row, I'm going to put the blue on the bottom so you can see the difference, okay? Now, this is a half a sheet, but I want to show you something. I made that corner, and then I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm going to put a little glue. You see how I just squiggled some glue on there and wrap it up. And just make sure that any glue is smoothed out over it. And which, to me, I found very strange how you can take a half a sheet of paper and make a rod this size. A whole sheet of paper will make a rod that size. So a half a sheet will make like almost 3/4 or more. You know, the same size. Like 3/4, like this, okay? That's the, okay, now I can see that you can see, okay? That to me was strange, but that's the way it works. This is a whole sheet, and this is a half a sheet. So if you take two halves and put them together, you're going to have a longer row than one sheet, one whole sheet. That to me was strange, but that's the way it works out, okay? Now, that could mean something in terms of what you are making. You know, that could mean something. Sometimes you need the extra length, and that way you can use the same amount of paper and get that extra length by cutting it in half, rolling it separate, and using the same amount of paper, you're going to get an extra length. I found that can be useful, okay? Just a little hint. Okay, so that is how I do the rods. This is the magic potion right here. And to make the beads, to make the bowls, and to utilize the rods, this is it. Now, to do these, all you do is flatten it out, and you can wrap and make bowls, you can make earrings, you can make beads. Voila. Okay, now, there is something special that I'm going to show you today that I try to make my live videos. I was when we were at the other enrichment center, I used to do the videos from 11 to 1. Now I'm doing them from 11 to 12. So they're not 2 hours long, you know. So they're an hour long, okay? So, you know, some people can I wanted to show you, or at least give you a heads up on how I make my bangles. Now, these are the bangles that I make, okay? And what I do is usually make them in sets. I do make them in sets by using the same paper. Like I'll get the colors together on the paper, and I cut the paper in strips, and then I use it to wrap. So that once I try to do it in sets of 3, because I think 3 is just like a nice number, and also it looks nice to have like 3 bangles together, you know. I mean, you could put more, you know. I have worn 4, you know, but 3 is just like a nice number to wear, okay? So, I'm going to show you what's in them and how I make them, okay? It's going to be very quick. Okay. I use, this is rolled, twisted, not rolled, twisted paper, okay? You can buy this in any place where they sell craft stuff. They use this a lot in doing floral arrangements, and, you know, a lot of, you know, floral, you know, things. They have different stuff that they use for that. One is like wire, and they also use this roll, twisted paper. It's like twisted crepe paper or something, okay? Now, I am not sure what the retail price of this is. It is not extremely expensive, obviously, but I tend to keep an eye out in the thrift stores, because there are people like myself who are buying stuff, and they have stuff, and they keep stuff, but they don't use it, and then sometimes they get donated. And then when they get stuff like this in the thrift stores, they tend to want to get rid of it quickly. They don't want to throw it away, because they know there are crafters that come in and would like to buy it. But they try to make it a reasonable price so that you will buy it and it'll get out of their thrift store, okay? So, this is, for example, I bought this bag, and it's like 3 different colors and also sizes. They're not all the same sizes. One is kind of bulkier than the other, and it doesn't really matter when you're making the bangles what size this paper is, you know. To show you what I mean, like this is one size. This is another size. You can see that this is more slender than this. This even has a stripe. I think I paid 20 cents for this in the store. I paid 80 cents for this. The price is still on it. For this bag of this twisted paper. So I just keep an eye out for it. I mean, though, like I said, any place you go, you know, Michael's or Walmart's or Hobby Lobby, any of those places, they sell flowers and, you know, supplies for floral arrangements. People, they have this. And it's not terribly expensive, but I like getting it even cheaper, okay? So, You can see, this is twisted paper too, but it has a stripe. But you don't see the paper. When I make the bangles, you don't see this. This just becomes the base, you know? Everything has to have a base. And this, you know, this twisted paper became the base. Now the very first bangles that I made, I use wire. I use covered wire. But then you have to sort of build up with paper. After you have the base is the form, then you have to wrap and wrap and wrap paper to get the size bangle that you need. Whereas these, you don't have to put so much, you know. So, and it's very lightweight, and I can find it in the thrift store. It's very reasonable. So, this is a plus for me. Okay, so what I do is I measure how long I want the bangle to be, okay? The circumference I want. And I add about a ½ an inch more because it's going to have to overlap. Where you connect it, you're going to have to overlap. When you overlap it, you can use a piece of tape. You need something to hold it together until you start wrapping paper on it, you know. And I'll show you what I mean. This, I actually just used a strip of paper and glue. And you can see, I just put it together, overlapped it, and then took a strip of paper, glued it, and just wrapped it around, and then I just put it down and let it dry. So I cut pieces of, not that particular one, but, you know, the same length, and you see these are the same size, okay? And then I wrapped them, joined them together to make the bangle. Now, this looks like a little bump there, but once you start wrapping paper on it, you don't see that, okay? So, now I'm going to show you some. This is the next step. After this, then the next step is this. Okay, so I have a bag here, and these are some that I made, and you can see there are 1 set, 2 sets, 3 sets. See? 3, 3, and 3. Okay? So these are 3 sets ready to be created into bangles. Okay? They're not bangles yet. These are the forms. These are the basic forms of the bangle. Now, what this is on the outside that's white like this is junk mail. Okay? That's it. That's what this is. That's what's white. But it makes it a form. It makes it hard. It makes it so it's, you know, like, see, this is like still like a little pliable, but this is hard now. Once you glue the paper on, and you have to let it dry, and that can take a few hours, and then you create the bangles, okay? So we have this. Okay, this is basic. So we have this, We cut it into whatever length, whatever size you want. You decide, you want 8-inch, you want 9-inch, you want 7-inch, you want 8.5, just whatever you decide. And you could take a bangle that you like the size of it and measure it and see what size is that. And then add a little because you want to be able to overlap, okay, to join it together to make this. So you have this, then you make that, then you make this, and you get this, or this, okay? And you have your bangles, okay? So I'm gonna move these out of the way so you can see. So we have this, then we make whatever size and you join it together. I use just strips of paper with glue and then I hold it and wrap it and I make that. You could use a little piece of tape and go over it. You know, that's up to you. Now, the next thing I wanted to show you is how I do the junk mail. Okay? So, I get some junk mail out. I know I have some. Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay, so here's my paper in a manner. Okay. So, anything, I get a ton of stuff in the mail all the time. Okay. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't use that. Here's something. Okay. Here's some stuff here. Okay. So what I do is I take this, and this is, here again, is a choice. Is a choice. You can do strips, or you can do, I need to get some scissors out. Okay. You can do strips of paper, or, so you could try. Or I do triangles. Okay, scissors. Okay, I do triangles. I just take paper and cut it out like that. This works. Okay. Okay. Now, I'll show you how I do it. I take the bangle that has been glued together. Like I said, you gotta, if you use this, the method I use with the strip of paper and the glue, because I couldn't find my tape, you have to let it dry. If you use just a little piece of Scotch tape over there, then you could tape it together and then start wrapping the paper. So this depends, okay? At the time when I made these, I made all of these. So, you know, they had plenty of time to let it dry. And so now I take the glue And I use school glue, what I call school glue. Any kind of white glue will do. Okay. And I can start over that spot that is glued together and I just tuck it on and wrap it around. You see how I just do that? And wrap it around and sort of move it when you're wrapping it and you have a long piece, sort of move it to the side a little bit, and so you get, and just smooth it out. See? And at this glue, between the glue and the paper, it turns hard. You know, the paper's made from wood, you know, and you see what I'm doing here? I just take a piece and take the end, wrap it around, and then I just push it through, wrap it. See? It's very easy. You know, you do it a few times and you develop your own system of putting it on. Now you could do just plain straight strips. That's doable too. Something about, to me, you know, having that triangle and then wrapping it like that, I don't know. To me it makes it, I don't know, stronger, harder, I don't know. But we'll see, you know, you try your method, you know, because I developed these ideas just by doing. So you just start doing and see what works for you. If you want to make them, that's it. So you just wrap and smooth it, you know. If the paper tears, not a big deal. You put enough glue on it, you just smooth it down. Smooth it down, you know, so that it comes out smooth all around. And it depends on, like some of them I make a little bulkier than others. I used to make them all kind of slender, and then I made one that was bulky, and I said, oh, I like that. I like that look. I like that size. So I started making them like that too. So it depends on what you, like I said, it depends on what you want your bangles to look like. And you want, like if you were going to make them kind of slender and kind of thin, then you could easily have more bangles and not look like too much, you know, because they're, you know, but the heavier ones, the thicker ones, then to me you could use less. You could actually wear 2 bangles and it still would look nice, you know, because of the size of the bangle. But I just like 3. Another thing you do, once you have covered the whole bangle there, then you can put it down and sort of like mash it down flat like that, so that when it dries, it'll dry flat and not wobbly, you know. Wobbly is not such a big deal because when you put on your decorative paper, you're moistening it again, and so if you need to do some more adjustments to make it, you know, like more flat, it is easily done. Now, you see, you can still see that this has like a little thickness here. That's not a problem, but I kind of like I said, I kind of like just a little bit thicker. And those are the kind that I'm making now, because I have a lot of them that are already made, and they're kind of on the thinner side. So I'm just going to wrap it. Like I said, this is the base. So that's it. And then I see another little piece of, I could add another little piece, you know. It's just how it looks to you, you know. And you know when it is done. You know when it's done. Okay, you see what I'm saying? There's a little narrowness right here, so I'm going to do that again. I'm going to wrap it. And wrap it. And wrap it. And you know what I did last week when I made the video? I remembered to put on a little makeup and put on a little lip gloss, which one of my dear friends advised me to do. This week I forgot. Okay, so she's gonna get me again. Liz, you need to put on some makeup, Liz. Okay. That's okay. I like that. I like that size. Okay, I like that size. Now, you still have to. Okay. You still have to put on the decorative paper, so there's still room enough for that. Okay. So that's one that's done. So take another one. Okay. But actually, I don't have to do another one because you've already seen it. So you already know that's how I do it. Okay? Now what I'm going to do, because I don't want to run out of time, I'm going to take this, I think this blue paper. Ooh. Okay. I'm going to get some paper out, and I'm going to decide on a color scheme for and you'd be surprised how what the picture is doesn't really matter once you're doing the once you're really you're cutting the strips and you're putting it on, what the picture is doesn't really matter, because you're not going to see that. What you're going to see is the colors and the variation in the colors. So, just so you will be able to see it good, I'm going to use this, which is green. The dominant color is green, and black with a little white. Okay? And the white is the, now, when I'm doing these, okay, you try to make enough for all three of the set. Now what you can do is do a variation in terms of the primary color that you're using. And what I mean by that, I will show you. You can see this color green that's here. These strips are a good size. they can be like half the size. And when they're half that size, you have to use more of them. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is get something else that has a lot of green in it, but maybe some other colors also. And then I'll combine the two. And then you'll probably be able to see. Okay, come on, come on. Oh, there's flowers. Okay, here's something with a lot of green. I don't know. Okay, here's something with a lot of green. And a little floral. Okay, so this has a lot of green. So either one of those is good. Let me see if I see something else. Just to be quick about it. Okay, so I'll use this. Now, they have white borders. I don't want that white border because you're going to see the end. When you're wrapping it, you're going to see the end. And sometimes the white border just adds another dimension to your pattern, and sometimes it doesn't. So it's what we're doing today. I don't think it's going to be a good idea. Now, the other piece of paper had no border. See, the color went right out to the edge. So I didn't have to cut off those ends, you know. Okay, so here, we're going to do one. So, this is the technique for making this. You take a paper, doesn't matter. I fold it in half, and if it were a half a piece of paper this size, I would fold it in half again and make it this size. You see, doesn't matter. Fold it in half. Like I said, if you fold it in half and make it, and then I put glue on the inside. Okay, inside the fold, flatten it out, and then I put glue on the outside. Okay, you got that. Okay, now, the fold should be to your left. Okay, this is folded in half. The fold should be to your left. Then you take the bangle and you put the end through, just the tip of it, and fold it over and like glue it down, and then wrap it. And when you wrap it, you move it over a little bit. Now, what I do, since all of this has glue on it, and I forgot to put, and I put glue on the whole thing, so I'll show you a better technique. It's less messy. Make sure you take it and like fold it and put it through like that, so it doesn't like smear the glue everywhere. And then you wrap it around, and then you take your thumb and you smooth that edge down, you hold it, fold it in. Okay, you wrap it around. You see how every time I wrap it around, I move it over a little bit. And I hold it. And you see it'll make a little bump, and you just smooth it down because it's got a lot of glue in there. And you just smooth that down. You wrap it down, you smooth it around. You wrap it around, you smooth it around. See? See how it's coming out? You wrap it around and smooth it around. And why you put the fold to your left? Because that folded edge is going to be seen. The cut edge is underneath. So that makes a nice smooth edge. And that's part of your dimension. And you see it'll sometimes it'll have a little pucker there, but it's got glue. And so you just smooth it down, you know, and you make sure you do that while it's still wet, you know, and you see, that's it. Okay, so now I'm going to use one of these other ones to add a little dimension to it. And so you can see what I was talking about. Adding, see, put the glue on the inside. And then what I was promising that I'll show you, especially when you're doing like a whole long piece, just put glue like on a part of it, like that. You know? So I just have glue to here. And then I'm going to overlap it to the last way I stop, and I'm going to wrap it around. And see, so this part doesn't have glue on it, so it's not going to be getting glue on everything and all over the place. See? So you smooth it down, wrap it and move it over. You sort of do it firmly. Now you get to the point where there's no more glue. Then you add the glue. See? Just make like a line. Wrap it down. Wrap it. Uh-oh. Now see what happened? It tore. You try to do it firm, but you know, you gotta remember it's a damp, it's magazine paper, but it's okay. Just let it overlap it. It's okay. It's okay. See? I like it. I like how it's coming out. So, now I'm going to add, I'm seeing, I want there to be at least one spot on all three where this green is there. So, since this is, there is only, this is the only other piece of paper that has that green like that. I'm actually going to cut it in half. Now this is the part where your creativity has to flow, okay? So this is going to be that green for one and for the other, so it's going to be 3. Okay, so it's going to be a green for the other 2, at least that, so that makes it come up like a intentional variation, okay? So here we go. We're going to do this, and we're going to do at least one. Okay, here we go. Whoop, 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 whoop. Glue in the middle. Now I'm going to just put glue there and overlap it. Since I had that in that broke off, I'm going to really overlap right over that part that broke off to make sure it has that nice, smooth consistency. Okay, so now we get to the point where there's no glue. You can put some more glue. Okay. So this will be nice. It'll have a lot of, like a bright green, but it'll also have black and a little brown, a little gray, a little white, and we have that, oh, sometimes my finger cramps up. There you go. I want to at least make one so you see how it comes out. And then they have to dry. And once they're dry, you can either put Mod Podge, which Mod Podge is really good because you get a nice gloss to the finish. But if you don't like the gloss, there's an acrylic clear varnish or water soluble clear varnish that you can get from, anywhere, Walmart, anywhere where they sell paint, any of the hardware stores. And you can buy it in small cans. You don't have to buy a lot of it. And then you can, if you don't want a gloss to your finish. I like the gloss because even after the piece is older and you've worn it, especially jewelry, it still has that glimmer to it. Like the light will hit it and it just has a little sheen to it. That's nice. So I kind of like it. The Mod Podge. I tried the other, and the other is good. It protects the finish, and that's the purpose. You want to protect the finish. You want to, see, I did it wrong. The fold has to be to the inside, the fold to the left, okay? So since I did it wrong, I'm gonna have to go the other end. Okay. So, here we go. I'm gonna wrap it. I'm gonna wrap it. I'm gonna wrap it. Ooh. My hand has a cramp. Got a cramp on my finger. Wrap it. Wrap it. Now this has a lot of green, but it also has a little teeny bit of lavender, some kind of little lavender there. So that's nice. That's nice. So that's it. That's how you make it. So you just make 3 of these using the same paper. You see I have the paper here. And what I'm trying to do is sort of keep it in a 1 hour type of thing, video. And so it's not too long. And but I want to bring every week something else. Also repeat something. Always I'm going to give you the rod because this is the basis. And I've also made bangles out of the rods, okay? So I'm going to show that to you too, where you can actually take these and make a bangle. It's going to come out different, but it's also a bangle, okay? So maybe I'll bring that next week, okay? No, I said I was going to do the box next week. No, the tray. Okay. We're going to do the tray next week, all right? And then the following week, I'm going to do the bangles made from these, and I'll also bring these back and show you them all done. So I'll do a review of this, and that's what, a review of these bangles, and then show you the new bangles. How about that? Not next week. Next week, we're definitely going to do the trays because I don't think I've done a tray at all. So I want to do the tray, and so I'm going to try to get a small tray. So, because I have, and I'll bring in, I have one that I did. It's this big. It's a huge tray. So I'll bring that in to show you. You can really make it any size. And I'll try to kind of do a small one so you could see it, the whole process, in the allotted time, okay? All right, here we go. And so thank you for looking and watching. And check me out on YouTube. I'm on YouTube. Art and Crafts, Liz Torrence. Arts and Crafts by Liz Torrence, okay? Better known as Mama Liz. Okay. See you next time. Bye-bye. I'm going to get up now and press the button. Okay.